Hi, this is Browns beat writer Nate Ulrich alongside columnist Marla Ridenauer. We're here at the Browns training facility in Berea. The press conference with Jimmy Haslam and Joe Banner just wrapped up, where they explained their decision to fire Coach Rob Chudzinski. Basically, Marla, they said that it came down to they felt that the team didn't progress like it needed to, regardless of talent, regardless of the quarterback situation. They felt the trajectory was going down instead of up, and that's why they weren't patient with Rob Chudzinski. We were all shocked about it. Rob Chudzinski released a statement saying he was shocked and disappointed about it. The players certainly were bewildered, stunned, angry about the move. But the bottom line is, this is the way the Browns are going. Did they sell you on the idea that it was the right move and that things will be different next time when they hire the next head coach in the next, week or so?
I'll give you a tiny bit on the going in the wrong trajectory thing, just because of the 7-game losing streak and the way the season ended. But I'm not convinced that everything they said about what they wanted, I'm not convinced this organization is set up the way to get the kind of guy that's going to change this, and that we're not going to be going through this again in a year or two.
We know that they have reached out and inquired about interviewing Broncos offensive coordinator Adam Gase. We know that Josh McDaniels is a hot name in terms of this coaching search, a guy that has ties to Mike Lombardi, a guy who's likely probably at the top of the list for the Browns. And we've also heard a lot about Jim Schwartz. He was just fired from the Lions, another guy with a long-standing relationship with GM Mike Lombardi. The surprise possibly from this news conference is that Bill O'Brien, the Penn State coach, another guy who's mentioned as a top candidate, if you go by what Banner said, might be ruled out, because he said that he does not think that people who were interviewed last year when they were searching for the head coach would be interviewed or would be candidates again for this head coaching search. So we know Bill O'Brien interviewed last year. Do you have any feeling about the kind of guy they're going to land? Do you think it'll be a big splash, big surprise guy? Or do you think we'll all be shocked last year like we were when they hired Chud? We didn't. I mean, we knew they interviewed Chud, but I think pretty much everyone dismissed him as a real viable candidate. Lo and behold, here he was.
Well, I think the only other surprise out of the whole thing, and that they might use to land a big name candidate, in that surprise regard, was when Joe Banner said they might consider giving up a little bit of the personnel control to get the right coach. Now, I think that would have to be someone in the huge, like Nick Saban type category. Not that it's Nick, yeah, but someone with a name like that. Yeah, I don't think he's talking about giving that some kind of power to some NFL assistant coach, or maybe not even a college coach at this point. I don't see that. But I did think that was quite an admission that I never expected Joe Banner to say. But I do, it's just as far as what they want, I can't see a Jim Schwartz type, only except for the connection maybe with Lombardi, just because of that team had discipline issues in Detroit, and I would think they're going to bring a hardcore, more of a disciplinarian, more of a no-nonsense kind of guy. And Chud did have sort of the reputation as being he was friends with the players, so I would see them going more in that other direction.
Yeah, and Joe Banner was asked about, the reports about accountability issues. He dismissed those and said that there's nothing to them. It really was about the improvement of the team, or lack thereof. Whether you believe that or not, the Browns are where they were less than a year ago. Jimmy Haslam and Joe Banner have fired 2 head coaches, Pat Shurmur and Rob Chudzinski, in a span of 352 days, I believe it is. Can you wrap your mind around this, and now that we've had a night to sleep on it, and think that this was the right move, or do you still think it was a flaw and a knee-jerk reaction to not be more patient with Chud, the way that Joe Banner was patient with Andy Reid in Philadelphia for, let's face it, 14 years?
I still don't really go with this was the right move, only because of, you lost Brian Hoyer, you didn't have Trent Richardson, you had a receiving core that was a joke in my mind, and you're talking Mike Lombardi, who was criticizing the Browns receiving corps when he was working for the NFL Network. And yet they didn't do a whole lot to upgrade. In fact, they were going to trade Josh Gordon. So, I mean, I'm not getting the vibe that I mean, like I said, I'll go with the lack of improvement and that we're going downhill at the end instead of up. But I'm just saying, if you went through that next year's draft with those 7 picks in the first 4 rounds and 2 first-round picks, I can't believe that Rob Chudzinski couldn't have made something out of this.
Yeah. Despite the trust issues that could arise from this quick firing, despite the federal investigation into pilot Flying J, Jimmy Haslam was adamant that he's confident they can get the right guy here. He repeatedly said, talk is cheap. So Browns fans already know that. They've been promised time and time again that things are going to change here. They haven't. And we'll be tracking every move to see what the Browns' next move is. We've come to expect the unexpected, so you never know what's going to happen here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Stay tuned.